Hi, this is Melissa Manchester, and you lucky people, are listening to TV Confidential.
Moon River, wider than a mile.
Ed Robertson, thanking you as always for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. We're taking some time off from the show during the first part of July. We'll be back with brand new editions of TV Confidential beginning the weekend of July 18th. Our guests that weekend will include Kiki Ebsen. Kiki Ebsen, youngest daughter of TV legend Buddy Ebsen and an accomplished singer, songwriter, musician, and recording artist in her own right. Kiki Ebsen has a couple events coming up in July, including an evening of jazz standards and stories that she will perform at the G-Spot Jazz Club in Mount Washington, one of LA's most sought-after house concert venues, on Sunday, July 6th, beginning at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at eventbrite.com. There's also a direct link for ordering tickets on the calendar page at kikiebsen.com. And since Sunday, July 6th is rapidly coming upon us, we thought we'd share a preview of our interview with Kiki Ebsen as a bonus edition of this week's podcast. You've always been your own person, and while that's something you got from your father, I understand that when the time came for you to pursue a career in music, he didn't push you. I mean, just because he worked in entertainment, he didn't push you to go into the arts. He let you make that decision yourself.
Yeah, he saw my aptitude for piano. Because I actually was a pianist before I sang, so I wasn't really singing until kind of my early 20s, which is interesting. But I've always played piano, so he pushed me to be a jazz pianist. And also, when I did start to sing, he wanted me to go more into like the standards and more into jazz. And while he definitely didn't push me into acting or anything like that. I mean, that was kind of a crowded profession in my family because my mother had a theater and my sister was an actress, and it just seemed a little crowded for me. And I really resonated with music. So he did let me make my choices, but he did have a few opinions about what kind of music he wanted me to do.
And as we mentioned in our open, what are the shows that's in the works in the next couple of weeks? Is an evening of jazz standards, which I understand is the kind of music he had hoped you would sing early on in your career, but eventually we all have our own process, and sometimes it takes a while to get to the point where people say you should have been at before. But the fact that you've come to sing the standards now and embrace them and embody them, to me, it's a richer experience for you to have gone through that process yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, for me, being an artist is a lifelong journey, and not only did I have, it's not that I didn't have an affinity for it, I just didn't know how to sing it. You know, I really felt I could sing my songs the best because I was telling my story through my songwriting, and that's how I got through my 20s and 30s and, and so on. And then I got to a point where I was, I'm older, I'm wiser, I've had more life experience, and those standards are so brilliantly written that you can take a simple melody and lyric, and it becomes your story. You can make it your story. But I think that comes with the wisdom of life and experience. So I felt at some point after my dad had passed that I could do those songs justice, and then the impetus was to pay homage to him and the songs that were in the shows and movies that he had been in. And just do it as a posthumous Father's Day gift. That's how I came to record Scarecrow Sessions.
Scarecrow Sessions is one of many albums that Kiki has recorded. You can find Kiki's music wherever music is sold, as well as kikiebsen.com. Kiki will be performing a night of jazz standards and stories at, I got the name on, it's the G-Spot, right?
It is the G-Spot.
Okay, no, I wrote down this is a Freudian slip. I mean, I wrote down the spot, but no, I didn't realize it's the G-Spot.
It's the G-Spot. So the G-Spot is a private jazz salon in Mount Washington. It's actually in a really beautiful home up in the hills. And it's owned by a guy named Alan Goldman, who's a really great musician, and he's been hosting jazz and performing little jazz ensembles for a long time. And it's just the most place to go hear music. And, it's open to the public, but it's a very limited seating, so it's a really unique experience. It's been wonderful.
Yes, and if you want to see Kiki perform at the G-Spot in LA on Sunday, July 6th, beginning at 7 p.m., email Kiki at kikiebsen.com, and she will provide you all the information you need as to the location, the venue, as well as tickets and all that stuff. Kiki Ebsen will also perform her Joni Mitchell tribute show at the Festival of Arts Pageant of the Masters in Laguna Beach, California, Saturday, July 26th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. She'll also be part of the Al Jarreau Band reunion show at South Coast Winery in Temecula, California, Sunday, September 14th, beginning at 7 p.m. For details on these and other events on Kiki's calendar, go to the calendar page at kikiebsen.com. You can follow Kiki Facebook, Twitter, as well as kikiebsen.com. What can people, for those who are going to see you on July 6th, what can people expect to see?
Well, I'm going to do, I'll do some standards. I will do a few kind of rearrangements of some of my favorite tunes. I love to kind of take some Joni Mitchell and put it with this quartet that I'll have, and they're all really seasoned jazz musicians. I have Jeff Colella on the piano, and I have an acoustic bass player named Chris Colangelo. I have an incredible jazz guitarist named Steve Cotter, and a brilliant jazz drummer named Ken Bouquet. And so they will take my, some of the tunes that that you might have heard in a more of a pop arrangement and set it to a jazz tonality. And then we'll do a few songs from To Dad With Love, a tribute to Buddy, my dad's tribute show. Mm-hmm. So there's some songs that are from Scarecrow Sessions that we will also do. And with that, I will tell a few stories about my dad and about his career. But it's more than just my dad's tribute. I get to kind of explore the jazz realm, and there's a lot of improvisation. And what's nice about it is you don't really know what's going to happen, because with that kind of genre, you have a roadmap, and then you let the musicians explore, and then I get to explore vocally. And it's because everyone kind of gets wrapped up in the moment of the music. It's very present, and the backdrop is a wide open window of this city at night. Of the city of Los Angeles at night. So it's quite stunning.
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
Hi, this is Rosalind Kine, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Kiki Ebsen will perform an evening of jazz standards and stories at the G-Spot in Los Angeles on Sunday, July 6th, beginning at 7 p.m. She'll also perform her Joni Mitchell tribute show at the Festival of Arts Pageant of the Masters in Laguna Beach, California on Saturday, July 26th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. Plus, she'll be part of the Al Jarreau Band reunion show at South Coast Winery in Temecula, California on Sunday, September 14th, beginning at 7 p.m. For details on these and other events on Kiki's calendar, go to the calendar page at kikiebsen.com. TV.com. Thank you for listening to this special preview of our upcoming interview with Kiki Ebsen. Our complete conversation with Kiki will air the weekend of July 18th on TV Confidential. It will then become available for listening on demand as a podcast on Monday, July 21st.